the Daily Wire over the weekend was screening on Twitter. I mean, there was a lot of controversy with this because of censorship issues and all of that stuff. But they were screening What is a Woman on Twitter. And as of the 3rd, it reached 100 million views already. And as we sit today, let me see. It was at like 170,000 views when I last looked, or 170 million views last I looked. So that's a pretty big deal. Now, if you haven't seen it, I think it's done airing on Twitter, so you have to go watch it again. But it's a really, really good film. And we discussed this, again, we discussed this on Thursday when I was on Timcast. So I'll play the video, talk to you about, this is what I said. This is actually what me and Tim kind of said about it, because we were talking about the controversy, because there was some censorship controversy with it, and actually which caused Ella Irwin to quit Twitter. So, which it was the head of trust and safety, which is kind of surprising. I think we'll see more come out from that, because Ella Irwin actually was she's been pretty good on the censorship stuff. She's gotten a lot of people that I know, like, their accounts back and everything like that. And yeah, but here's what I said. Here's what we said.
It is a very good documentary, and I'll tell you why. One of the scenes in question that was limited, Matt Walsh is actually arguing from the perspective of trans activists to the shop owner. He's doing a good job as an interviewer. The interviewer says, "Here's how I feel about trans people." And then Matt Walsh says, "But you're not a scientist. Like, what, how do you know?" And that he's actually taking the points to get his response and reaction to it. He's not just approaching this like, we already have our minds made up and we're going to, he actually says like, "Hey, tell me what you think." I thought that was very respectable.
I think the documentary was very well done. I've seen it twice now. And what I really like about it, though, is Matt didn't put his biases into it. I mean, it's a bias. It's shaping a narrative into one direction. But what he does is he goes into these interviews and just lets the trans activists just talk, and they show you who they are. And so he didn't have to like guide them in a direction. And what Tim's saying is correct.
What is woman is.
So yeah, I mean, if you know, I released a video on the first, the night that What is a Woman came out. And I thought it was a really well done documentary. Now, I mean, if you know, me and Matt Walsh have had our issues over the last year. I mean, he kind of came to try to ratio me. Actually, yeah. So we kind of had a little Twitter spat a couple weeks ago. But at the end of the day, I don't have to like Matt Walsh to understand that this documentary is a very good documentary, right? So, 1 second. So, yeah, I don't have to, it's a good documentary. All he does is go out and interview people and allows them to basically tell you what they think. He doesn't push a certain narrative. He doesn't go into these interviews and say, "This is what I think, and this is why you're wrong." He's not debating anybody. So, very true, Courtney. He's not really. I mean, I'm not. So Matt Walsh isn't a likable man, but he did a great job with this piece. I don't know what type of person he actually is. I do know that he likes to go on his show and he basically rage baits people. From that's my term for it, right? Very much just go. So there's a shock factor that comes with this, and this is what you're seeing with a lot of the Daily Wire hosts. I mean, you see Ben Shapiro saying that he doesn't even think that people should be able to cross-dress in public, or anything like that. And so he would use the federal government, which, why are a conservative going out there and saying that he would use the federal government? I don't think that's right. When I did a reaction video to, again, Brad Palumbo, my friend, who I'm going to be speaking at Freedom Fest with, I did a reaction video when Brad and Michael Knowles debated. That was a very well done debate, and I think Brad did really well, because and a lot of what he pointed out was like, if you want the government to do this to trans people, like, take away, basically, there's been a lot of talk, we should take away trans people's rights to own a firearm because they're mentally ill, right? But the whole point is then what's the government to say that, being conservative is not a mental illness, and then trying to take conservatives' guns away? Like, that's what's going to happen. And so when you push for this, that's what goes down this road. So I think that's what the Daily Wire, a lot of their hosts do. They have some good hosts over there, like Brett Cooper's great. And so there's some people over there that I can respect, but yeah, again, going back to this documentary, it was very well done. I have no issues with it, and like, it hit 100 million views. Now, if you know the background of this, though, it was really interesting. Like, the biggest stuff though too is like, was the Twitter feud between Daily Wire CEO Jeremy Boring, which actually, if you saw a picture, there's a picture of me and Josie, the redhead libertarian, who I had on the show a couple weeks ago. She was on Timcast with me. We're holding some of Jeremy's chocolate, and it's kind of hilarious because I'm holding the he/him chocolates because they have nuts. Get it? But so I mean, and it's actually really good chocolate. So you guys know, Jeremy's chocolate is really good. But so Jeremy was talking. I mean, basically, they had a deal with Twitter to air. They had a deal to air the movie for 24 hours, but the Twitter team basically said, we'd like to, like, can we get a pre-ordered copy of the movie so that we can then, so that we know how to really push, like how we can promote the movie, like what's the best route to promote the movie, just knowing what it is. After they viewed the movie, they said they basically started tagging everything with like hate speech claims, and like saying that they were not going to promote it. They weren't going to censor, they weren't going to take it off, but it was, they had suppressed it. Instead of promoting it, they ended up suppressing it. And so it was like the exact opposite. And then they said it was like they're under the policy of freedom of speech, not reach, which then got Elon Musk involved. And what was really interesting is then Elon Musk said, everything, this is a mistake. It shouldn't have these warning labels on it. It was interesting because one of the warning, like, they said that it was over misgendering. And when you're talking about misgendering, instances of misgendering, and again, this is Jeremy Boring who said it was over instances of misgendering. But when you're talking about misgendering, Elon Musk bought Twitter because the Babylon Bee was censored for misgendering. And so for them to censor this movie because of misgendering, it seems a little bit counter to the whole reason why Elon Musk bought Twitter. Now, Elon has come out, and actually what really boosted the views on this was Elon Musk tweeted the video himself and said every parent should watch this. So there's a lot going on with Twitter with this, but if you haven't seen the video, haven't seen the movie, definitely go watch it. Yeah, go watch it. I think it's perfect for anyone. Now, if you remember, the first time I watched this, actually the second time I watched this movie, so I've seen it twice. I did the reaction video the first time, so you can actually go through and see what I saw. The night that it was posted, I posted a reaction video to the video. But then this was the first time that Eventbrite censored me. So Eventbrite had I was supposed to do a screening. I did. So we did a screening event in Richmond, Virginia, where we were going to screen the movie and then do a reaction, like have a panel discussion about the movie. This is actually when Matt Walsh mentioned me by name on his show, because I was supposed to take part in this conversation, and Eventbrite took our listing down. So Eventbrite is not for everyone, as they say, but only if you go with their narrative. That was the second time. The last event was the one in Pennsylvania with me and Chloe Cole. They took that one. Or no. The one in Wisconsin with me and Chloe Cole, they took that one down as well. But that was after the fact. So they've tried to censor me a couple times. So Eventbrite's not very good either. So, but yeah. So I think it was a very well done film, even if I'm not a huge fan of Matt Walsh. So we have our differences, but who doesn't? It's all good.